Some quarterback punk. Johnny Unitas or something.
I am Governor Spencer Cox.
I'm ready.
And my preferred pronouns are he, him, and his.
Johnny Utah gets his guy.
Governor Spencer Cox. He, him, and his. My preferred pronouns. Governor, he, him, and his.
I'm out of here, bye.
Special Agent John Utah, day number 1 in LA. Welcome aboard.
Do you run your Twitter account, by the way?
Do I run it personally?
Yeah.
Johnny Utah gets his guy.
It's like it's been heavily encouraging Democrats to join the caucus system and vote in the Republican primaries. I just wanted to know if you refresh your team or not.
Tell me something, and like you want to see you often. So baby, say you're feeling this.
Absolutely. Are we seeing some people register as Republicans? Yeah, I hope so. I think
And like you want to see you often. So baby, say you're feeling the same. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Come on, come on, join us.
Special Agent Utah.
Not bad, Utah.
My preferred pronouns.
Special Agent Utah.
Utah, repeat. Say again.
Governor, he, him, and his. My preferred pronouns.
Special Agent Utah.
You tell me something, and like you want to see you often. So baby, say you're feeling the same. Yeah, you make me feel real. When you tell me something, and like you want to see you often. So baby, say you're feeling the same. Yeah, yeah.
Hey, what's going on Facebook Live? Actually, we're live on YouTube, Rumble, over at KMMU, and Twitter. If you're seeing this live, please give us a thumbs up, like the stream, subscribe, whatever you got to do. You know the usual stuff. But we're having some technical difficulties again. Luckily, we got Dwayne here to sort things out for us and get us on track. But this is Cruising Maine live with Adam Bartholomew. I am Adam Bartholomew. Hey, Mom. Hey, Dad. I love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. And we're live on several Facebook pages. We got a good show for you today. We've got some Utah legislature stuff, some bills that are going through the Utah legislature. We've got updates on the national election circuit for president and some other stuff. We also got a comment on the last video that we're going to follow up on. So be sure to share the stream, tune in, and we are a little bit late today, but we're going to try and get through this the best we can. So Cruising Maine. Welcome to Cruising Maine, the live stream. You don't want to miss it. Let me just go here to, whoops, my smaller camera. There we go. If you've heard the news, unless you've been under a rock, you heard that Ron DeSantis has dropped out of the presidential race. And he's endorsed President Trump. He did the right thing. Nikki Haley probably should have dropped out already as well. Let's hope that Nimrata Nikki is not the nominee. I don't think she'll get in. She's polling at like 30% or 20% or something, and Trump's polling over 50%. So Ron DeSantis, he did the right thing. But have you ever heard of Bill Mitchell? He's this D-list conservative talk guy, and he has a show kind of like this one, but it's not as good, obviously. Bill Mitchell came out last year and he said, major announcement, I'm going all in. Unless DeSantis wins the GOP nomination, I will quit social media and politics forever. I can no longer work in a world where a narcissistic, lying criminal like Trump is my party's nominee. Well, Bill Mitchell, he's one of those hard grifters. I mean, the guy has been in and out of the news. He pisses off his fans. He constantly grifts. He did a bunch of grifts where he raises money on GoFundMe for something. Like, for example, one that got me was he was raising money for moving to Florida from wherever he's based, and he raised a bunch of money, and then he never moved. And he's gotten some flack for that in the past. Let me just change tabs here. Oh, that's not the one. Okay. Oh, yeah. I got to go to my other. Sorry. I had everything set up, everything ready to go, and then I had this massive lag on my camera. But we're going to get through it. Here we are. Bill Mitchell. Fans rage at pro-Trump radio host Bill Mitchell over fundraising scam. I had an interaction with this guy about the scam, and I had called in last year when the guy was going all in for DeSantis and bad-mouthing Trump, and I called him out. I said, hey, Bill, we know that you're going to be all in with Trump. Actually, I'll play the clip here. My call in with Bill Mitchell. I called into his show, called him out, and I have to say, I called it. Bill Mitchell is going to be 100% Trump after DeSantis drops out, and here we are. Let's see. Bill Mitchell. Let's open that one here.
Stupid, GoFundMe story 100 times on Twitter, and I still get these people coming in and say, "Oh, you stole money from me." It's like, no, I didn't. I didn't steal money from anybody, and I put out a post.
Thank you for going over that, Bill. I appreciate it. I'm glad we could get into the GoFundMe grift that you're constantly running. We all know that if Trump gets the back end or if he's the nominee, you'll be back on the Trump train as soon as you smell a dollar bill.
That's hilarious. Yeah, there's very little money in doing what I do. I mean, just basically enough to just basically pay the bills.
You run dozens and dozens of GoFundMe grifts. That's all you do.
I'm not even doing a GoFundMe right now.
We've all seen him. We just heard you talk about him, Bill. So whether you're not doing
okay.
it now or
whatever, you're a clown. You're a clown. You're a clown.
So, like many other call-ins to the Bill Mitchell show, he called me a clown and hung up on me, and then he proceeded to block me on Twitter.
Clown.
As you can see that on my screenshot there, I'm blocked from Bill Mitchell. But of course, DeSantis has now dropped out of the race. Dozens and dozens of Utah legislators endorsed DeSantis, and there's some people are still endorsing him or whatever. Some people have moved to Nikki Haley, like the governor's wife, Abby Cox. She says, not his wife, the lieutenant governor from the governor, Deidre Henderson. She came out yesterday on Twitter and said, "I'm still all in for Nikki Haley." So we know that the rhinos are still going for Nikki Haley, but let's check in on Bill Mitchell on his Twitter account. And he's saying now, his pinned comment from 9 hours ago, "I'm going to proceed between now and the convention with the assumption that DeSantis will be Trump's running mate and accentuate the positives that could bring to me this unity ticket." And then he says here, "I'm not quitting social media because Trump promised to lock up Hillary and didn't even try." So somehow that has something to do with Bill's previous tweet where he guaranteed he's dropping off of social media. But here he is. He is back on the Trump train, talking about Trump. He's all about it. He loves, he's talking about, "Tell me why you love Trump." And he is all in, assuming that DeSantis is going to be the nominee for Trump. I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't even know if that's possible. I think they're both based in Florida right now. So who knows? Who knows if that's even possible? But our temporary senator here in Utah, Mittens Romney, spineless Mitt Romney, as we like to call him, he came out and said that, let me go pull up that news article here. He came out and said that we're out of touch. Mitt Romney comes out and says not only Utah voters, but let's see, where's that Daily Mail article here? Here it is. Mitt Romney says our voters are out of touch with reality and don't care that Trump raped a woman. This is Utah's junior senator, the guy who couldn't get reelected. The polling showed it. And so he's stepped down. He's decided to retire and he's not going to run again. And he's saying that people who support Donald Trump, well, they're out of touch because they don't care that a jury found. I think a lot of these people are out of touch with reality and will accept anything Donald Trump tells them. He told CNN. I mean, put off the fact that the guy's here speaking to CNN, first of all. Those guys are the definition of fake news. If I'm in a position of power like Romney, I'm not going to talk to those guys. I'm not going to entertain it. I think that we shouldn't be giving power to the people that are using our own words to smear us. And that's what CNN, the Salt Lake Tribune, that's what they all do. You give them any little bit and they twist your words and do whatever they can to smear you. And he says, you had a jury that said Donald Trump raped a woman, and that doesn't seem to be moving the needle. There's a lot of things about today's electorate that I have a hard time understanding. Well, Mr. Romney, I'd like to rebut your little comment there about voters being out of touch, that a jury, I think that the voters are more in touch than Mitt Romney. And it's funny that the guy who's calling us, he's calling me out of touch. He's calling you out of touch. If you think Donald Trump, or if you vote for Donald Trump, you're out of touch, according to Mitt Romney. But it's funny, and it's actually ironic that this is the guy calling us out of touch. And I think he's just lashing out. I think he's angry at the voters because they wouldn't vote for him. They wouldn't vote for him for re-election for Senate, which is why he's dropped out of the race. But also the guy, I mean, he was, talk about out of touch. Here's an article from 2 years ago. Mitt Romney selling his Alpine Lodge in Park City, Utah for $11.5 million. Let's see. Here's an article. Mitt Romney sells his massive California home for $23.5 million. Well, this home, this massive California home that Mitt Romney bought, or that he sold. So this is the same mansion. He bought it for like 12 million or something. And then he made headlines. He made national headlines back in 2012 when he was running for office, because the guy had ordered a car elevator for his California mansion. So it says here his $15 million car elevator mansion. So that's how much he spent on it with remodeling and stuff like that. But then he went and sold it. And he famously made headlines for back in 2012. He's running for office. And he made this comment about the 47% of people in America. And then he made national headlines for being out of touch, for having multiple homes. I mean, the guy has homes all over the country. He's a resident of Massachusetts or something. I don't even know why he's Utah senator, other than the fact that he's Mormon and his last name is Romney. But he had ordered a car elevator for his mansion. Let's see if we can find that real quick while we're here. Mitt Romney car elevator. Here we go. Let's see if this is May 25th, 2012. Mitt Romney ordered a $55,000 phantom car elevator. And this is what it looks like. It's so that you can have a whole bunch of cars in your basement. And then you, one at a time, you raise them up on this little elevator. He sold that mansion just recently for $23 million. So he cleaned up by selling that. And he says the guy who orders a $55,000 elevator for his $12,000 mansion, he says we're out of touch for supporting Donald Trump. And I would say, no, Senator Romney, you are out of touch. You're the one who's out of touch with America. Let's see here. Are we frozen? I can't tell.
See, folks.
Let's turn this off here and turn it. Yeah, it looks like my camera's frozen. This isn't good. This is not good. Let's play a clip here while I try and fix that. Okay. I think that let's see here. I think that the voters are more in touch than Mitt Romney. And when you say, oh, the voters don't even see, the jury found that Trump raped a woman, I think that the voters are a little more in touch than Mitt Romney is. And here's why. Here's the woman that a partisan jury found that Donald Trump raped.
You don't feel like a victim?
I was not thrown on the ground and ravished. Which the word rape carries so many sexual connotations. This was not sexual. It hurt.
Well, I think most people think of rape as it is a violent assault. It is not.
I think most people think of rape as being sexy.
Let's take a short break.
Think of the fantasies.
We're going to take a quick break. If you can stick around, we'll talk more on the other side.
You're fascinating to talk to.
You don't feel like a victim?
We're having some camera problems here. Hang on a second. Oh, this is terrible. Hang on, I'm going to play a clip here while we fix the camera. Don't know what's happening. Sorry, you get more of the countdown in the meantime.
Let's go, Utah.
Some quarterback punk. Johnny Unitas or something.
I am Governor Spencer Cox.
I'm ready.
And my preferred pronouns are he, him, and his.
Johnny Utah gets his guy.
Governor Spencer Cox. He, him, and his.
Okay, we're back. My camera is super laggy. It's totally garbage right now. Can't figure out why. Let's see here. How's it looking, Dwayne? No lag now. Okay. Dwayne says we're good. He says we got no lag. So that was the lady. You saw that clip. That lady is the lady that Mitt Romney uses to say that we're out of touch for supporting President Trump because a jury found that he raped that woman that said rape is cool. And she said it wasn't sexual. She says that this was not sexual. So I don't know what you want to say here. I don't know how you can say a jury found this woman, found that Trump raped this woman if, like I don't, this video wasn't even played in the courtroom. Actually, let's take a quick jaunt over to YouTube. You know how hard I had to search to find this video? Let's see here. You type in E. Jean Carroll rape cool. Rape is sexy. Let's see here. Oh, look at that. It's right at the top. That's crazy. When I typed this in yesterday, it's probably because my cookies, I found all these videos. When I typed this in a couple days ago, the whole thing, I typed in that exact term, and the whole thing was like, Trump's going like this 5 hours ago. Trump continues defaming E. Jean Carroll. And here's her YouTube channel. All this stuff came up. I had to search. I had to change my search settings. I had to go into the search settings and search previous years before I finally found it. It's funny that it comes up right now. Yeah. That's hilarious. But anyway, you saw the video.
You don't feel like a victim.
I was not thrown on the ground and ravished, which the word rape carries so many sexual connotations. This was not sexual.
This was not sexual, she says. She says this was not sexual. My camera sucks. I don't know what's going on here. Let's try and turn some stuff off. Bear with me here. Sorry. Oh, man.
Let's go, Utah.
Some quarterback punk. Johnny Unitas or something.
I am Governor Spencer Cox.
I'm ready.
And my preferred pronouns are he, him, and his.
Johnny Utah gets his guy.
Governor Spencer Cox. He, him, and his. My preferred pronouns. Governor, he, him, and his.
I'm out of here. Bye.
Special Agent John Utah, day number 1 in LA. Welcome aboard.
Do you run your Twitter account, by the way?
Do I run it personally?
Yeah.
Johnny Utah gets his guy.
Okay, we're back. Let's try this. I had to get rid of that OBS system. It was not working at all. So let's turn that off. Let me go back to my settings here so I can share my screen. Okay, so Mitt Romney. This is where we were at. So I think the voters are more in touch than Mitt Romney. You'd think that a guy who's a U.S. senator, a guy that's voting, to impact the president, the guy, he hates President Trump. He's bitter. He's bitter because he couldn't get elected. The people didn't support him, but yet they did support Donald Trump, and they still support him. That's what Mitt Romney's angry about. He's a guy so connected to the Uniparty in Washington that he doesn't even know that E. Jean Carroll is a complete and total fraud, and that her rape allegations were never brought up 30 years ago. They never came to light until the guy becomes president. She made up the whole thing. She's been interviewed multiple times. She is a total phony. And this guy, Mitt Romney, the guy who calls us out of touch for actually, looking up and listening to this lady's own words before we believe a partisan jury with a Democrat judge that every one of them hates Trump and they're not allowed on even on the jury without their ideologies being vetted. The guy's a total fraud. The guy's bitter, and that's why he's saying this stuff. He's super bitter. So, Mitt Romney, what are you going to do, right? Let's see here. Let's find my next link. I wanted to talk about this teacher in Seattle really quick. I moved here from Washington. I actually grew up here in Utah, but back in 2021, during the lockdown, Seattle was still in lockdown for 10 months after Utah or something like that. And they were still doing Zoom school. That is the worst system ever. But it was also good. It was a positive and a negative at the same time because you got to see the kind of crap that was in your schools. You got to see the kind of stuff that your teachers were pushing. We had teachers with Black Lives Matter badges, teachers, that were Trump hating. And we saw that kind of stuff because we were in Zoom school. But recently, this is just from 19th of January, a woke Seattle teacher tells a student that identifying as straight is offensive because it implies that LGBT people are crooked. So, which if you're familiar with the term cisgender, the slur against straight people, cis means comfortable in skin, and it's a slur against straight people. And they use that term because saying that straight implies normalcy. And so they use the term cisgender to take that away. They don't want to imply normalcy by using the word straight. And so when somebody, some 15-year-old student, he had spoke out in class and said he identified as straight. So as a Seattle high school teacher has been slammed for allegedly blasting a student who labeled himself straight and telling the boy that to use a less offensive term. Ian Golash, the social studies department chair at Chief Sealth International High School infuriated this 15-year-old boy's mom who filed a complaint. She provided the student, she claims Golash provided the students with a social identity wheel worksheet. And I had that wheel up on my last show, and I had a candidate for Utah State School Board, my wife, actually she brought that wheel onto the show. She's got it on a big poster. And this is the kind of crap that they're bringing into the school systems here in Utah. And after her son labeled himself, here we go. Golash provided the students with a social identity wheel worksheet asking 10th graders to reflect on various identities, including racial, ethnic, gender, and sexual orientation. After her son labeled himself straight, Golash allegedly told the boy that the term was offensive. He later bizarrely tried to explain that the word implies that to not be straight is to be crooked, and therefore, which could have a negative connotation. Here's the identity wheel garbage, what this has to do with whatever he's teaching, I have no idea. The mother went on the Jason Ranch show and said the teacher was pushing his own ideological agendas rather than inviting open discourses on controversial topics. In this particular instance, he tried to persuade the language of the students used in an attempt to censor them, said the woman who declined to identify herself. The teacher instructs students what to think and instructs his students what to think and not how to think. This in no way provides an identity-safe classrooms that allows students to feel visible and valued. The parent previously complained that the teacher failed her son on a quiz for saying that men cannot get pregnant and that women do not have penises. So here's the picture of the teacher with his multicolored hair and a giant chain in his picture. Who knows why? But stuff's obviously inappropriate. And the reason I share this is because, what's this? The teacher pictured in a mugshot from a prior arrest in Oregon. I totally missed that. Okay. So he admitted to saying he prefers not to use the word straight, as language has power and it shapes the culture that we live in. Mother also claimed that the teacher targeted her son during a discussion on Florida banning ethnic studies, likely a reference to Florida Governor Ron DeSantis rejecting an advanced placement class in African American studies. The mom said her son was absent the day before and was unable to answer when asked for his thoughts. Here's the reason I bring this up. Because here in Utah, and we found this out when we moved here from Seattle, is that you can't really put a time frame on it, but Utah is a little bit behind Washington and California. So however Washington and California go, that stuff seems to work its way into Utah, whether that's state policy. There's a really good article that I shared on my Twitter account. I should have had it pulled up for this, but it talked about the California and Florida effect, and I identified several states that were following suit with Florida and several states that were following suit in culture and legislation with California. And Utah was one of the states that was following suit from California. We had stuff from California making its way into our legislature and into our school systems with these garbage curriculum that they're bringing to our students. And the precursor to that is the media. The media starts using this language. They start using these terms, and they start doing this stuff. And what made me think about this when I saw this article, it really kind of clicked because I had seen a post from some anonymous account on Twitter called Normie Utah. And let's just load this up here. Normie Utah. KSL is suffering from full ideological capture. Now, he's quote tweeting a KSL article about a recent bill from last week that was in the legislature. And we'll talk about that bill. But he's quote tweeting an article from KSL where he says KSL is suffering from full ideological capture. They use the trans activist slur cisgender to describe normal people. They use sex assigned at birth, which is nothing more than trans activist nonsense babble. And lastly, they call the actual definition of what makes a human male or female, quote, narrowly defined. which of course is gender ideology nonsense that suggests there is any other definition. Total brain worm rot. Pretty good tweet there, on point. I retweeted it. And here's some articles. I found dozens of these, but I just pulled up a few here. Let's see if we can get them to load. Something's wrong here. Let's do a little refresh. Okay. So I don't know what's happening here. There we go. Come on. Here is one article from 2021. Utah bill that would ban transgender girls from high school sports stalls in the Senate committee. And, whoops, let me close this out here. This article uses the term sex assigned at birth, I believe. Let me find this one here. Let me pull it back up here. Nope. No, that wasn't it. Hang on. Nope. Okay, hang on. Everything's broken right now. Nothing's working. I'm glad we got 5 people watching, even though this stream has been a total mess. I can't figure out what's going on with my stupid computer. Let's see if we can refresh this one. Here we go. This one's from January 27 or 17th, 2024, just last week. And this one talks about narrowly defining. It says the bill narrowly defined. This is the tweet, the article that's retweeted by that account. And it says, narrowly defined, the bill requires more unisex or single stall facilities in all publicly funded buildings that, and narrowly defines both male and female in code. So it should be narrowly defined. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous that it's, that, you know, we're, let's see here. I think this one has the birth one, sex assigned at birth. Yeah, here it is. This one's about an article from somebody down in Sanpete County, trans woman. So this is a guy. Excuse me. It's against the rules on YouTube to misgender. So this is a transgender woman, makes history in Sanpete County with gender change. And they're not talking about Governor Cox here. He is from Sanpete County. But it says Scarlett, which that's her name, says she's identified as genderqueer since 2016, but started to transition publicly between 2017 and 2019. She said that she's been dealing with gender dysphoria, a negative health effect that some experience when the sex they are assigned with at birth and their gender identity do not match. Assigned at birth. Isn't that hilarious? It's kind of like the doctor, you know, the baby's born and the doctor comes out and the doctor has a little chart and it's like, let's see, we're this one male. Yep, we're signing that. How ridiculous. There's no assigned at birth. And everybody brings up, all these people bring up, oh, what about intersex people or people born with both parts? You know, that's so rare. Every rule has an exception, okay? That is so minuscule of a percentage of people that have that it's basically non-existent. No, you'll never find anybody with that unless they're paraded around in the media. So to say that they're assigned at birth, it's ridiculous. It's the gender that is observed at birth. You know, my kid knew this when he was like 4 or 5. Little boys have penis, girls have vagina. Everybody knows that. It's observed at birth. There is no sex assigned at birth. And this language, this cultural Marxist language that's coming in through our media, it's filtering down from the left coasts. It comes into our media, and then the media ecosystem, the people that run the mainstream media here in Utah, they pick and choose, these journalists. And when they interview people, if you're out as a conservative, good luck getting hired. Good luck. And the people that run these, let's see, let's take a look at this one. Jessica Lowell. Let's see if we can find out about her. Nope. Let's see. Jessica Lowell, KSL News Radio. Let's search that with Google. Jessica Lowell. Here she is. Oh, I can only imagine what her political leanings are. Young millennial girl that has she, her in her bio. Okay. That's the person running this one. This one didn't load. Here's another one. This one, Myra Maines. This is an article about Utah County Ordinance, or Salt Lake County Ordinance aims to update. This is from 2023, just from last year in December, so about a month ago. Bathroom policies. Salt Lake County Council proposed a new ordinance. And let's see. I believe this one, yeah, assigned at birth. And this other article that didn't load, this one uses the term cisgender. So this guy, Normie Utah, I'm assuming it's a guy. He's totally on point. I like this account. And yeah, this is where that crap comes from. And so you wonder where it's coming from. It's coming from the policies that are implemented by these news agencies. And it starts on the coast. It starts in these woke areas, and then it ends up, in our school systems. It ends up in our media. It ends up in our culture. It ends up coming out of our teachers' mouths. And that's why so many people are concerned about this stuff. Let me close these out here. Let's close some of these tabs. But that article that they were talking about, let's see, where is it? Oh, yeah. So Kira Birkeland, she's been under fire. We had a couple of controversial bills going through the House. And here is an article or a picture of Kira Birkeland where she's kind of starting to cry. And this guy, Utah House 29 candidate, he's running for office here in Utah. And his name is Brad Bartholomew. So we share a last name. Brad, you're screwing up out there. I don't know what you're doing. But let's see. This guy's running as a Democrat in District 29. He's running for the Utah House. And Kira Birkeland, she's put out this bill last week. And the twits on Twitter started going crazy about it. And they start all these things saying, oh, this bill is going to make it illegal for me to take my daughter to the bathroom and all this stuff. And then here's Utah House 29 candidate Brad Bartholomew reposting a tweet from Aaron Reed, Aaron in the Morn, an activist on Twitter. And it says the bill's sponsor, Kira Burke, is currently crying because she had to bring this bill and because people are attacking her for it. They called into question, pass it through the House. So this manufactured outrage promoted by this candidate for Utah House, Brad Bartholomew, came from people like Aaron Reed. And this is where it originated from. You can see this tweet alone has 106.7 thousand views. And at the top of this Twitter thread, this is a Twitter thread from an activist, independent LGBTQ plus journalist, mom. Okay. She starts out with this thing, alert, Utah could become the second state to mandate jail for trans adults in bathrooms of their gender identity. It could also affect travelers traveling to Salt Lake City Airport, as well as cis travelers mistaken for being trans. The bill, House Bill 257, is slated for a potential full House vote today, separately. And so there's an article, and then Aaron Reed goes on. Bill contains provisions that states that any transgender person who enters a bathroom of their gender identity must have a birth certificate matching their gender identity, and also requires gender reassignment surgery. This will be a nightmare to enforce. It also says that if a transgender person should know that they will likely cause affront or alarm to others in bathrooms, they will be charged with criminal trespass. If a transgender person from California enters a bathroom with an updated birth certificate and bottom surgery, they could potentially enter. But an identical person from Kansas would be unable to due to birth certificate laws. But there's more. Because later in the bill, it removes all legal recognition for transgender people by defining sex legally as only what was assigned at birth. This could revert birth certificates and driver's licenses across the state. So let me go back up here to this tweet and the bill's provision that Aaron Reed is citing here that says cause affront or alarm. An individual who enters a privacy space in violation of subsection 1 commits the criminal offense if the individual, under the circumstances which the person should know, will likely cause affront or alarm to or in the presence of another individual or for the purpose other than the intended use of the privacy space. So if a transgender woman is going into the bathroom, okay, if a transgender woman is minding their own business, guess what? Nobody's going to care. If you go into the bathroom and you look like a woman, if you are presenting outwardly like a woman, like presumably Aaron Reed here, okay, nobody's going to care. But if you are like Leah Thomas, the famous swimmer against Riley Gaines, and if you're Leah Thomas and you're in the privacy facility, the locker rooms, and you're naked and you're waving it around, because we know Leah Thomas hasn't had bottom surgery, okay, or top surgery or anything. Leah Thomas is a transgender woman who racing with women racers in women's swim meets, okay, and we've heard the stories about Leah Thomas wagging it around, in full command mode. We're talking not hiding, not leaving anything to the imagination. And Leah Thomas is a transgender woman, a man who has become a woman that still is into women. So still attracted physically to women, still engages in relationships with women, but is now considered a woman for sports purposes. So, and this Aaron Reed, when you look up Aaron Reed, let's see, no thanks. Let's see, about, here we go. Somewhere it says who Aaron is, but basically, yeah, trans queer person. So Aaron Reed is a transgender woman, okay, and this is who's causing this manufactured outrage. And this mom, this transgender mom. Sorry, guess what? You're not a mom, okay? But this transgender mom has 206,000 followers, and Aaron Reed sicked her followers on Kira Birkland by tweeting out that thread, okay? Call to action, alert, whatever it is. These people start harassing the people in the legislature that are passing these bills, and they sick their followers on them. And so the followers of this person that's generating this out, oh, anybody's going to be arrested. They're going to be checking your pants at the door of every bathroom. False. If you go into the bathroom, rip your pants open and start waggling it around in front of little girls, guess what? Then you will have knowingly entered the bathroom. You will have knowingly You should have known that it would cause an affront or alarm. Okay. You did that on purpose. That's what this bill is aiming at. It's aiming at these people that are doing this on purpose. And there's articles from all around the country of biological men entering women's spaces and taking advantage of them. And this is what it's aiming to prevent. This is what Keir Birkeland is trying to prevent with this bill. And people like Aaron Reed and Brad Bartholomew for Utah House 29 and other Democrat radical activists go around and they try to intimidate people. They try to intimidate the legislators. They cause a bunch of drama and they try to get them to change the bill. Okay. Another bill that went through the legislature was one about DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. And that's another bill that caused a whole bunch of drama last week, specifically with Darlene McDonald, our resident liberal activist. She's a perennial candidate. She's ran for about every office she's eligible for, from Congress to state legislature to Salt Lake County Council and on and on. She runs something called the One Utah Project, which is a 501c4. I don't think it has the same reporting requirements as a 501c3, but you know, I have my own suspicions about her activity. But let's just, if you might remember her, she went viral a few times for her weird opinions. Here's one that just a refresher. Let's see this here. Let's see here.
Crack. What? What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you say the word crack?
Drugs.
Yeah, drugs, but black people. Black people on crack.
All over the news for years now. Not Hunter Biden, not not step on a crack, break your mother's back, whatever that is. No. Darlene knows that you and your racist heart, the first thing you think of when you hear the word black is black people on crack, or when you hear the word crack.
Right. I would hope that Darlene would have to describe her life experience and how she grew up, just like I would, and we wouldn't immediately assume that. So my question is, what do you, when you describe that we're seeing something, what are you talking about?
Greg
What
Hughes
are you seeing
right
or
now.
assuming by way of color that she doesn't have to, that people of color would not have to describe that I would? I mean, because it certainly shouldn't be poverty, and it certainly shouldn't be class. It's what is it? What is it that the synapses is clicking into our heads that she doesn't explain?
I'm going to take that.
Please do.
Crack. What? What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you say the word crack?
Drugs.
Yeah, drugs, but black people. Black people on crack. That's number one. That's number one. That's number one. That's number one. We can argue that, but that's no. I'm not done. I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet.
Okay. This is ridiculous. Here's the deal. We are having a civil conversation. We're not having. Let the white man. We're not having peanut gallery discussion like that.
So that's Darlene McDonald. You probably remember her. Crack equals black, Darlene. So this bill going through the legislature, Darlene doing the same thing where she does a call to action and a big tweet thread on it. And various people were participating in the comment period where the legislature hears public comment on the bill before they vote on it, or before it moves through committee so that they can vote on it. And one person, Darlene, had spoken. So this tweet that I've got on the screen here, this is after Darlene had spoken. She spoke, gave her piece, and I'm a victim. Everybody's racist. I can't escape it. There's racists everywhere. And then Jamie Renda comes up here and she responds to Darlene's comment. And Darlene, she's freaking pissed. She says, Jamie invoked my name. I will address this. I'm going to use a pejorative. That was effed up. She invoked my name twice. Keep my name out your mouth. But then Darlene, she goes on to do this massive tweet thread where she's naming people. She names everybody. She names Katie Hall. She names people who aren't even involved in the bill. They're just there testifying, including my wife, including several others. I can't find all the tweets here. Let's see. Here it is. This lady, she talks about this lady having 4 black kids. Okay. And then she names my wife. Well, then my wife quote tweets her. Okay. And some other people quote tweet Darlene, call her hypocrites for saying, keep my name out your mouth. And then she goes and uses other people's name. Well, then she goes on to do this giant thread because Carrie had retweeted and said, I truly feel sorry for people caught in bitterness. They cannot see the light. I'm pro-human and happy with that. So Darlene goes on this massive thread and, keep my name out your mouth, Darlene, goes on this massive thread, naming her, and about how, my wife's mixed, by the way, half black, half white. Until 1967, Miss Carrie's mere existence in Utah was a crime. Okay. And we're in 2023 now, Darlene. This person is so pro-human that she shows up with an all lives matter sign because dang well that all lives do not matter. So how dare you on all lives matter sign in the same breath. Okay. And she says, I don't care about no George Floyd. He doesn't represent my life. How dare you speak poorly about St. Floyd? He should be on Mount Rushmore. That's where he should be. In your thoughts and in reality. All lives matter, right? Zero empathy for the black life that was snuffed out under someone's knee. No, he wasn't snuffed out under anybody's knee. That's fake. He died of an overdose. He was saying he couldn't breathe well before he was ever under that cop's knee. So, but Darlene doesn't care about that. She's so pro-human that as long as you don't tell her black son, Carrie's so pro-human that she got mad because someone told her quarter black son to embrace his black side. She freaked the hell out. Okay, no, a teacher in school told him that he should embrace his oppressed side and reject his oppressor side, his white side. That's what a teacher did. So nobody's mad that he was told to embrace his black side. We're mad that a teacher is spreading this Marxist garbage in our kids' school, telling him to embrace his oppressed side. Driving a wedge. So what? Am I the oppressor because I have this mixed son and a mixed wife? Am I the oppressor of the household? Is that why my bed's in the master bedroom? Must be. Yeah. I mean, how ridiculous this lady is. Hey, Darlene, keep my son out your mouth. Keep my wife's name out your mouth. I mean, give me a break. You keep my name out your mouth. How ghetto is that? Okay. How ghetto of a response. And secondly, don't be involved. If you don't want people to mention your name, Darlene, don't get involved. Keep your trap shut. That's probably a safer bet. Okay. She's nothing but a race hustler. Somebody called her Wasatch Whoopi. I think she's like Utah's version, a female version of Al Sharpton, she shows up to the Capitol. She's doing it today too. She's live tweeting the events. She has these call to action. She does the exact same thing that Aaron Reed trans activist does. She bullies legislators. This is what they do. They show up, they bully legislators until they get what they want. Okay. She also had quote tweeted John Johnson, a senator here from Utah, and said, he only agrees with people that agree with his outlook. Okay. But yet here she is saying Katie Hall put a black face to an anti-black bill. She calls the bill anti-black because it's trying to cancel DEI. Okay. And she put a black face, and then she called anybody who's not white in that bill, or in that session that went and spoke in favor of the bill, anybody who was not white, Darlene called them a black face to an anti-black bill. Every single one of them. The second usual anti-black face to an anti-black bill is the usual anti-black voice. I wouldn't want Carrie Bartholomew anywhere near my child. That's what she says. This is the same lady who retweeted a state senator and said that he only listens to people or believes people that have his same viewpoint. What a hypocrite. What a hypocrite. This lady is a cancer. You know, when she was running against Burgess Owens for Congress, I had responded to several of her tweets and said, you're running a campaign of hate. Do you really expect to be elected? If you get a minute, I am Darlene McDonald. I am Darlene MCD on Twitter. Take a look at her account. It's nothing but seething with hatred. Her entire existence is hatred. She can't get past it. She's what my wife would call a race essentialist. She sees everything through a filter of race. That's why she says, when you hear the word crack, the first thing you think of is the word black people. No, that's not the case. She's a racist. People don't think that. People hear the word crack and they think of crack. They think of, in my case, when I first heard that, was Hunter Biden. That's what people think of. People think of, when they hear the word crack, they think of drugs. They don't automatically associate it with black people because we're not racist like you, Darlene. Sorry.
Brother Adam.
Yes, sir.
You can continue as long as you want, but I'm going to have to shut the call-in lines down because I got phone calls of my own to make.
All right. Looks like we're not taking any calls today, okay?
Well, it's been up, but we haven't
gotten it has been up. I never said we're officially taking calls, but the stream got started late today, and we had a bunch of technical problems.
We'll get those worked out.
So
we'll get them all worked out. Good job.
Today's not a call-in day. Unless you're going to call in right now. If you're calling in, you better do it quick because Dwayne's about to check out.
I got calls of my own to make.
Should we give it 5 minutes?
I can give you 5 minutes. You betcha.
All right. Dwayne's giving us 5 minutes. If you want to call in, this is your time to call in, okay?
You used to call me on the cell phone.
So call me maybe.
I've just received a call.
To the Bronx. Up next, great to have you on the network. Hi.
Hello. You hang up that computer call.
I'm out of here. Bye. Bye-bye. Okay?
Good day. We're taking calls. You got 5 minutes. If you want to call into the show, and I'm looking at you, Connor. I know you were planning on calling in last time, but you didn't. So if you're calling in today, you got 5 minutes before the call screener takes off. So if you got anything you want to talk about, this is the time. All right. And this is the place here on Cruising Maine on Main Street Media, Utah. The next thing I want to talk about is, this sweet new college course we got coming in. And let me just find this really quick. BYU. I didn't save the link here. Taylor Swift. Here we go. BYU. If you're not enrolled in school, you definitely have to because there's a new course, Taylor Swift-inspired philosophy course at Brigham Young University that dives into the philosophy of song lyrics written by pop star Taylor Swift. And this comes right on the heels of, maybe this one's on the heels. I don't know which one was first. Or of this new, I can tell you my son, he'd probably get his master's degree before ever, he would just enroll in this. He could enroll in this class and never show up. This new course at UC Berkeley, University of California, Berkeley, one of the world's best universities, is teaching students how to get good at video games, whatever that means. Get good. We've been told to stop playing video games and to do something productive like studying. Now you're able to do both because UC Berkeley, University of California, Berkeley is now offering the art of Fighting Games is a course at University of California, Berkeley, rated the 8th best university in the world. So you no longer have to just be a gamer and gaming all the time. You can learn the art of playing fighting games by going to UC Berkeley. It might cost you a little bit of money, but it will be worth it to get your games on point. And the same thing is true for if you want to know about, if you want to add to your ethnic studies degree or your Africa studies degree and get the course about Taylor Swift, then I would say do that. I don't know what's going on with my internet here, but every time I go out of a tab, it disappears. But you get the point. That's some cool new courses right now at University of California and at BYU, and coming soon to universities across the country. So definitely go and get your Taylor Swift philosophy degree. I don't know why I can't get any of these to load. What's going on here? Maybe if I turn this off real quick. Let's turn that off. Okay. Let's quit that. Start it back up again. Okay. And let's try and open a link. Sorry about the pause here. All right. You've heard of these social media pranksters, right? The people getting in trouble all the time on social media. Common thing. You have these people that we're on YouTube, by the way. I've got under 500 subscribers, youtube.com/lifeisdriving. So if you're so inclined, the technical difficulties will not last forever. So if you're so inclined, please go subscribe on YouTube. But we're not going to be doing any of these gimmicks a lot of people are doing to get viewers on social media, on YouTube, which is a social media site, or on their TikTok or whatever. Here's a guy named Yannick, a Dutchman who's been arrested over in Belgium, and he's been arrested for these prank videos where he goes and dumps crap on people. So here he is. You can see like this guy got all the stuff poured on him. He's called the Surprise Chef, and he makes these videos where let's find a video here. So he goes out, they're pretty long, and he goes out and he makes a bucket full of crap, like literal crap, and cooking oil and tar and dog turds, anything he can find. So look at this. He's putting half and half and cooking oil. He makes this, and then he goes outside and gathers up some dog turds and stuff. And then in the end, he drops them on to get views. He, let's see here. Okay, here he is. He's finished adding all of his garbage. What does he do? He goes onto the subway or the train or whatever. He has one guy video and another guy, or the guy himself, the YouTube guy, Yannick. He's got several. This is number 5. I think he has like 8 of these before he got arrested. This is what he does. Here he goes. Ready? He's on the train. Some random guy gets a bucket of crap poured on him, and he laughs about it. So he's got a bunch of these. This YouTube prankster dumping jugs of crap on people. Well, Utah has its own prankster. Let me just find the link here. Here it is. It's called the Fish Bandit here in Utah. We take it up to another level. Pouring buckets of turds on people. It's not edgy enough for Utah. Here in Utah, we've got the Fish Bandit. What does he do? He tapes fish to ATMs and police cars. Nice. Keep it classy, Utah. So yeah, this is our own social media prankster here in Utah. And you know what? As Dr. Manhatva, or whatever the guy's name is on Twitter, said, I'm not even angry about this. This is kind of funny. It's kind of stupid, but at the same time. So yeah, Utah, we got our own social media prankster out here. And this guy's up in Provo. At one point, he tapes a fish onto a Provo police car. So I can't quite figure out the message if he's got one. If he's got a message and he says we're going international, somebody in Japan copied him. I can't quite figure out the guy's message here, but hey, you know those YouTube pranksters, they're gonna be pulling their pranks. So got one more thing here before we end the show. We had a comment on last week's episode. Let me share this here. A local. Nope. Let's see. I've never done this on the restream part. That's why I'm having so much trouble with my own setup. How do you share a picture on here? Anyway, I'm just going to pull it up and then share the window, okay? Here it is. So that Normie Utah account that I had up that was talking about the gender language, the political Marxist language that's happening around our country. That account, there's a common or a notable account here. I think Deidre Henderson follows the account, and it's called The Left Show. It's a garbage podcast here in, let me find that screen share. Here it is. Here in Utah, it's a garbage podcast. It's a bunch of Democrat activists types, and here we are. Okay, so here's the tweet from these guys. Can I zoom in on this? No, I can't. Anyway, you see the tweet. He says here, this Normie Utah account. Now, a little bit of background here. This account, I have no idea who it is. I follow it on Twitter. The Left Show, the idiots at the Left Show, they previously put out an expose on Twitter where they did an investigation, and they found out that the Normie Utah account had shared a bunch of stuff that John Johnson had put out and used some similar language. I can't even remember. It was so stupid that they said we've identified that this is Senator John Johnson's Desnot, which is Deseret Nationalist. It's a slur that somebody made up. I don't know why it's supposed to be offensive, but Desnot account, Normie Utah, who's always calling out Brian Schott and whatever. So these guys, the Left Show guys, they said, this is Senator Johnson's account. Okay. And so it's absolutely ridiculous. And I don't know if it is. I mean, it's more likely to be Senator Johnson, just looking at the account and the contents of it. It's more likely to be his account than mine. Okay. Honestly, or than Jason Preston's. So when you talk about the language used on the account and the way things are set up, it's definitely not Jason Preston. Okay. The stuff that's on there. It's not me, because I don't follow sports at all. So I could give a crap about sports. This account tweets a lot about the Jazz and other stuff. And I know the Jazz have been doing some crappy DEI related stuff, but the account is also pro DeSantis. It's like not, I think I saw a tweet somewhere where it said he's not 100% in with Trump. He'll back him if he's the nominee or whatever. I'm all in 100%. Mega 2024. I'm all in for Trump. This Normie Utah account is not. He's more likely to vote for a DeSantis or a Nikki Haley, it looks like, which is grounds to be unfollowed, I'd have to say. But now the Left Show guys, at one point they said, oh, we know this is you, Adam Bartholomew and or Jason Preston. And I had responded and said, oh, you got me. Oh, but what about that time you said that you had an expose? And these guys are so bad at being Twitter detectives that they can't figure out, can't decide who the account actually belongs to. So the Left Show, they're most best known for probably, let's see, the guy who runs it, Jeff Bell, is an Adderall addict. He's perpetually broke. The guy is always broke. If you look at his social media posts, he's complaining about being broke all the time. He works 3 jobs 2 of which are side gigs. And then his main full-time job is working at a comic book store. Yeah. And you wonder why you're broke. But anyway, this guy responded to a random Normie Utah tweet, and he says this a lot for some stupid reason. Hey, Adam Bartholomew and or Jason Preston, we heard Carrie on your show taking ethnic studies. I think he says talking ethnic studies. LOL'd when she said they were teaching Ebonics in ethnic studies. She's so dumb, and she's dumb enough to believe, like you, walkable cities are a UN conspiracy. Okay. Now these guys are always saying this whenever they accuse me of owning the Normie Utah account. They're trying to say that I'm into walkable conspiracies because I had shared a video, and Spencer Cox actually blocked me. I got Cox blocked by Spencer Cox on Twitter because I called him out when Jason Preston had an altercation with Spencer Cox at the state convention last year. And Spencer Cox got in his face, pounded on his chest, and got all mad at him. And it was definitely not a disagree better moment. Okay. And it was at the convention where Ron DeSantis had come to speak here in Utah. And I called out Spencer Cox and said, look at the difference between these two governors. We have our weak beta male governor, Spencer Cox, and we have DeSantis, and how DeSantis handles things versus Cox. And I'd done a tweet thread breaking it down because the video with where Jason Preston had gone up to Cox, really simple question. And it was a benign question in my view. I mean, it was, he said, hey, what's your thoughts on these smart cities? That's all he said. And Spencer Cox blows up, jabs him in the face. You're making stuff up about me. It's good for your brand, all this crap. I could play the video, but he goes on saying that, all this stuff about, and I did the breakdown, and Spencer Cox blocked me. Okay. And so because of that, because I had used a thread where Jason Preston's asking about, and Spencer Cox, by the way, he had like campaign material or his administration materials where he's like giving smart cities luncheons and all this stuff. Like he could have easily, if I were governor and somebody's asking me that, and I'm thinking that's a good thing, I'm gonna be like, I think they're great. I don't think they're this bad thing that everybody's making them out to be. I think they're great for the economy, great for Utah. He didn't do that. He wigged out. He got mad at Jason Preston, and he was taller than him and buff, and Spencer Cox is this scrawny little beta male guy. And ever since that tweet thread, this guy at the Left Show has insisted that the Normie Utah account is my account and that I'm obsessed with walkable cities being a UN conspiracy, which I don't give a crap about walkable cities. If you want to live in a walkable city, great. But I don't live in one. Where I live, I got to commute by car everywhere I go. So I don't live in a walkable city. I don't care about walkable cities. If they want to turn the old prison into a walkable city, great. I don't like the idea of government overreach and government monitoring everything we do, but I don't give a crap about walkable cities. So here, let's play a clip from last week's show where I had my wife on, and she was talking about what the Left Show, what he got out of it was he LOL'd when she said they were teaching Ebonics in ethnic studies. Did she say that? Let's find out. Here it is right here. Okay, here we go. Oh, great. I haven't got any audio on this, do I? No. Hang on a second. Got some problems. Uh-oh. All right. Well, that obviously my screen record didn't work. But basically, in the clip, she says that here in Utah, she heard about a teacher that was teaching that Ebonics was the official language of African Americans. Okay. So that was what she had said. She said that they were teaching that Ebonics was the official language of something. She didn't say that they were teaching Ebonics. Okay. That's just ridiculous. And this guy this is a guy who's best known for being perpetually broke, running a garbage podcast. And on that podcast, they back when, I don't know if you remember when Pornhub blocked the state of Utah, but these guys were fretting about and worrying about where are the kids? Where are the kids going to find their first pornography if Pornhub is blocked in Utah? That's the kind of quality content you can get on the Left Show podcast. And these guys didn't even have, I know you're short on Adderall or whatever, but they didn't even have the attention span to understand that my wife was talking about somebody teaching that ethnic studies or Ebonics was the official language of Black people. Not that they were teaching Ebonics in ethnic studies. That's pretty funny, actually. But I wish that clip had worked. It doesn't. So, but hey, I'm sure we'll talk about those guys again. They're always coming up in Utah media. Let's see here. I think that's it. I think that's all I've got today. I don't think I left a single stone unturned. I wish we had a guest today, but we didn't. We also didn't get any call-ins. The call screener's gone. So that's it. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in to Main Street Media. And be sure to tune in 5 days a week. We've got content coming out from various people. We've got Political Head Trauma, formerly the Tooele Happy Hour on Fridays. Those guys are going for 4 hours. I can't even get my system to work to go live for 2 hours. These guys are going live for 4 hours. I think I'm going to have to go out to Jared's house in Tooele and take a look at his setup because I'm having some trouble. So anyway, that's all for today. Thanks for tuning in. This has been Cruising Utah Main Street with Adam Bartholomew on KMMU, Main Street Media, live on all the places you'd expect.